everyone. Good evening. Hope you're all doing well. My name is Bhargavi, and I'll be taking you through this course on data analytics with Power BI. Power BI is a Microsoft product. It was launched by Microsoft. It is primarily a data visualization tool. Okay. This program that we have designed, the free program that we are doing now live on our YouTube channel, 360DigiTMG, is a 10 hours program. So the total duration is 10 hours. It is a weekday program, which means we will meet from Monday to Friday. And the timing, as you know, is 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. IST, Indian Standard Time. So depending on your time zone, accordingly, you can log in. The sessions are happening live on YouTube, which means you will have access to the recordings as soon as the session is over. Okay, like you're watching it now live, and immediately after the session is over also, the video will appear in our YouTube channel and you can refer back to it. All right. So let me give you an overview of what is it that we will cover in this program. So the overall agenda of the program is such that we will talk about what is Power BI, and I will also show you how to install Power BI desktop. Today, primarily that. Then we will talk about how to perform data transformation using Power Query, also called as Query Editor or Power Query Editor. We will learn how to create data models, meaning when your data is coming from multiple sources, you can establish relationships between them. So that we will cover. We will look at how to create charts. Now, it is primarily a data visualization tool, which is used to transform the data into a graphical format, to present the data in visual format. So the core would be to know how to create different types of charts based on your requirement. And we will be focusing a lot on this aspect. And in Power BI, we will also learn how to create dashboards, how to make the reports or charts created interactive, how to make use of, how to create connections between the reports, all these kind of things we will explore. We will also work with DAX. We will learn how to work with DAX. DAX is, these are expressions, basically calculated fields. Okay. Most often we will come across scenarios where we may have all the necessary information in the database, but it wouldn't be sufficient for our analysis. We might have to manipulate it a little. We might have to create new fields from existing fields. So you might know what is the profit made by the business in each year, but what is the year-over-year growth? That is going to be a calculation that you will have to create. Okay, you might have access to the actual values. How do you compute moving averages? How do you compute running totals? How do you compute year to date or year over year? All these kinds of things which are generally done on a day-to-day basis in every business. We will be learning how to create those calculations using DAX. Okay, so this is the overall agenda of the program. Today will be basic introduction, mostly just getting a look and feel, getting to understand the look and feel of the tool, installing it, and of course, seeing it. Then we will proceed further. Okay, so today's agenda is to understand what is Power BI, what are the various products that are present in the Power BI product suite, installation, and connecting to some common databases or data sources. Okay, and we will of course try to get familiar with the user interface of Power BI desktop. Now the course is primarily designed to focus on Power BI desktop. Okay, desktop. There are other things like this Power BI service, which is also called as Power BI Cloud or Power BI Pro. There's Power BI Mobile. There's Power BI Premium. Okay, but that is not our focus. Here we are focusing on Power BI desktop. So what is this Power BI? Let's start with the first question. What is Power BI, right? It is basically a collection of software services, some apps like desktop and mobile and and Pro on the cloud. Okay. And using these tools, you can get connected, like specifically using Power BI Desktop, you can connect to a variety of data sources, right from an Excel spreadsheet to a CSV file to even cloud-based databases. Then how we bring the data from different databases and create visualizations with that data. It is a tool that is used to bring data from different data sources and present it in a graphical format. It is a Windows desktop application. It is a Windows desktop application. Somehow Microsoft people have not launched the product for iOS users. Okay, if you are using a MacBook, you're using iOS and you need to use Power BI, there is no direct version of Power BI compatible with it. So you can do it only through Windows virtualization. Okay, you may have to configure a VMware on your iOS machine, and then through Windows operating system only you can access it. Okay, so they have launched it primarily to be compatible with or to work on a Windows machine. It is a Windows desktop application. Now here, so Power BI is mainly used to analyze and visualize the data. But apart from analyzing and visualizing the data, there are a few other things that it is capable of doing. Okay. So what is it capable of doing? It is capable of transforming the data. It can transform the data. Now, when I say it can transform the data, what does it mean? What kind of transformation is it capable of doing? So when you connect to the data, data might not be in a very defined format. You can do some things like maybe change the names of the columns, change the data types of the columns. If you have null values, you might want to remove the null values. Okay. If there are columns with errors, you might want to remove them. You might want to make sure that the header is correct. Using the existing fields, you can even create new fields by manipulating them a little. So all sorts of transformation on the data can be done. After transforming the data, we can also create data models. So that is creating, you can also do modeling. So we say data models can be created. As I was telling you earlier, what is a data model? It is basically when you have data coming from different sources and they are supposed to be connected together. Okay, when you have to bring data from different data sources and connect them together, you go and perform data modeling. So apart from simply being able to analyze and visualize the data and create reports, it can transform the data, it can create data models. All this is done by Power BI. Power BI Desktop, okay, specifically Power BI Desktop will do all of these things. Now, let's say you are a single user. All right, let me clear this. Let's say you are a single user, you're the only person, you are the only person who will be using the reports that you have created. Let's say you have created all the reports for your use. You are the owner of a business and you are the, everything of the business. So you have to look at the data, you have to create reports, you need to visualize it, and you will only consume those reports end of the day, monitor them and check. So as a single user, all you need is desktop. All you need is Power BI Desktop. So you can connect your data within Power BI Desktop and create the reports. And you save those files on your local machine. So whatever reports you create on Power BI, they are called projects. It's called as a Power BI project. Like if it's Excel, it's an Excel workbook. Word, it is a Word document. Okay, if you're working on Tableau, then it is a Tableau workbook. Similarly, on Power BI, what you create is called as a project. Finish. There we come to the end of the story. Okay, individual user, I will use Power BI Desktop. I will create all my reports, store the project on my local machine. my work comes to an end over there. Okay. And whenever I need to access that report, I will open my laptop or my desktop, and then I will open that report. I will see what is the latest, how is my business performing? I will see in those reports. But what if, as an individual user also, what if you might want to be able to access your report from everywhere? Not only when you have your laptop with you, right? Not only when you have your own laptop or machine with you, but maybe you're traveling, you're not carrying your laptop with you, still you would like to be able to see what is the current status of those charts. Let's say you have created reports indicating the profit, indicating the sales, and you want to track the progress. On the go, you want to track the progress. Then you have to save your Power BI projects onto Power BI Cloud. Power BI Cloud is also called as Power BI Service or Power BI Pro. All are one and the same. These words can be used interchangeably. So what is this? This is basically a cloud. Cloud meaning a server that is installed elsewhere. You will be given some space on the Power BI Cloud, 10 GB. Power BI Pro license, I think if I'm not wrong, it gives us 10 GB space on the Power BI Cloud. So we just upload our work over there. Okay. And you can log into your account on Power BI Cloud through your browser. Let's say your laptop browser, any browser. You have Google Chrome or Mozilla, you have Internet Explorer, whatever browser you have, you can log into your account on Power BI Cloud, Power BI Service, and you can access the reports through a browser. Now, let's say you're not in a place where you can access it from a browser. So once you have uploaded your reports to Power BI Service, right? After you have uploaded them over here, you can also access these reports from Power BI mobile app. Okay, Power BI desktop is also an app, but it is a desktop app that you will install onto your desktop or onto your laptop, and all the creation part, report creation part happens here. For sharing your work with others or for you to be able to see your work from everywhere through a browser, you put it on cloud. Once it is uploaded on cloud, you can even access it from the Power BI mobile app. So from your mobile app, you can connect to the service and you can check the reports. You can track them. Okay. Now let's say you are not an individual user. You are working for an organization. So at organization level, what happens? At organization level also, the flow diagram is pretty much the same. There is an organization which has a lot of employees, right? An organization would have a lot of employees. So some of them are probably the developers who will use the data generated by the company, whatever data is there. They will use Power BI Desktop for report creation. So this is basically the authoring. We can say that this is basically the authoring tool, because we are creating everything here. We are authoring, we are creating the reports over here, transforming the data, creating models, creating reports, creating dashboards. Okay. So all the Power BI developers, right, they will use Power BI Desktop, connect to the data of the organization, and they will create reports. So after creating the reports, where will they save them? This is not for the use of an individual person. These reports are to be consumed by everybody in the organization, right? In that case, we cannot just put it on our local machine and say, okay, fine, I have it with me, right? All the reports that are created for an organization, they are always published onto the Power BI Cloud. That is nothing but Power BI Pro or Power BI Service. So definitely they will be going here. After we publish them here, okay, you publish them. So what are you doing? You're taking the reports which are created here and you're publishing them here. Okay, whatever reports are created, they get published here. Once they are published here, everybody in the organization can simply access the Power BI Cloud and they can view those reports. Not everybody can edit. All of them can view. If someone needs to edit, then they need the Power BI Pro license. They need license to be able to edit. And the permission, of course, permission to edit. Now, once it is put on the cloud, it can also be accessed from the Power BI mobile app. Okay. So whether you're using it as an individual user to analyze your business or as an employee of an organization to look at the company's business, Power BI desktop is common. One has to know how to work with Power BI desktop. Then finally, to upload your work, you need a platform to collaborate with others, to share your work, to share and to collaborate with others. Now, when I say collaborate with others, maybe you along with your colleagues would want to edit the reports, would like to work on the reports together collectively. So you can collaborate your work. For that also, you need Power BI Cloud. Mobile app is simply for people to access the information. Okay, I hope you're getting some clarity on what are the tools that we have here. So I'll give you one example. Okay, which one would be the best? How do you decide what is your role? What would you be doing? As a developer, you would be creating the reports. As a developer, you will create reports. So your focus is on knowing how to use Power BI desktop. As a manager of an organization or somebody who is a part of the management team, I might not create the reports, but what I would be interested in being able to monitor what is going on by looking at the reports that somebody has created on Power BI desktop. So I don't need access to desktop because I'm not involved in creating the reports. I am involved in monitoring those reports, going through those reports, finding some meaningful insights from them, and then taking the right decision. Okay, gain insights from those reports, and then that leads to decision making. So all I need is to be able to access that report. So maybe just Power BI service, I will log in to Power BI service from any browser and I will check the reports. And I may not be doing it on a regular basis, like every 1 hour, every 2 hours, or every day. I may not be accessing those reports. Maybe once in a week, or maybe once in a fortnight, maybe once in a month, I will access those reports and see how my business is performing. So having Power BI service is enough. Now imagine a sales representative. Okay, imagine a sales representative who's working on the sales of a product. Now this person would like to track those reports regularly, right? Because that person is probably trying to see what is the progress in the sales on a daily basis, see how the leads are getting generated on a daily basis, right? So this person has to constantly keep looking at those reports, which will give him a real-time exposure to what's going on. Every time if I have to search for going through a browser and then check, it's not going to be very user-friendly. That is where Power BI mobile comes into picture. Install the app on your mobile phone. On the go, every now and then you keep tracking what is going on. Okay, so that is basically the purpose of any of these mobile apps, right? Because your phone is like a body part now for everyone. Our phones are like one other body part. So we will have them with us every time. Whenever we want, we can open it and we can track what is going on. We can see the progress. All right, so these are the 3 main components of the Power BI product suite. Desktop, which is the role of a developer to use it and create the charts. Service, which is more for the management to once in a while monitor the reports. Mobile, which is for those people who need to keep tracking things real time. Somebody has created and given me, but I need to track it diligently. I need to track it from time to time. Then I will use mobile. These are the 3 main things. All right. Now that we have an idea about what are the things that we use, we will look at how to download and install the app. Okay. So let me go to the browser and we will look at how to install. So we can go to Power BI. Actually, I deleted the software on my machine today so that I can show it to you all real time. So you go to powerbi.microsoft.com. Okay. And then over here, under products, you can go to Power BI desktop. There is Pro and there is Premium. Premium is for large scale use. This is about 5,000 US dollars, I think. Let's check the pricing before we get there. See, there's Power BI Pro and there's Power BI Premium. Okay, this is showing in. It should be an option. Okay, this is showing in Indian rupees. Pro will cost you around 10 US dollars. That is per user per month, and Premium costs you around 5,000 US dollars. Okay, and here it's like everybody in the organization can actually view the reports. It scales up to how many ever users might access it. Power BI Premium that way is very useful. For very large scale organizations, it is a good option, but rest of them can do it with just Power BI Pro. All right. So when you go to powerbi.microsoft.com, which is the official page here, you go under products. Okay, you go to products. Now, once you go to products, you can see Power BI desktop over there. And when you click on Power BI desktop, you see these options here, download free, see download or language options. You can directly download it from here, or you could check the options that are available here. So when I click on see download or language options, it takes me to the other page where we can see the language. English, of course, we would like to download it that way. And again, here also you can directly click on download. It is available in other languages. That is the most important thing. Okay, the user interface, apart from English, it is available in many other languages. So let's say we want English. So you can again click on download and conveniently download it. Or we can go ahead, check the system requirement. This gives us a better idea about, whether our machine would be compatible. Do we have the software and the hardware that is necessary in order to be able to install the tool? So you can check the system requirements if you want to. Power BI desktop is available both for 32-bit machine and also for a 64-bit machine. It is available on both platforms. Okay. Why am I pointing this out very specifically over here is because many other tools have stopped the support for 32-bit. Okay, but Power BI, they have continued. You still have support for 32-bit machine and also for 64-bit. Now, if you don't know what is your system, right, you can just go to system information. Okay, when you go to system information, you can see here under system type, you get to know whether your machine is a 64-bit machine or is it a 32-bit machine. As you can see, these days, almost everybody's machines are 64-bit. You can see this is 64-bit. And now let's just go and click on download. You can see two options here, right? So this is the 64-bit one. This is what I'm going to download. In case any of you has 32-bit, then you have to select this checkbox and then click on next. I'm using 64-bit machine, so I will select this checkbox. You can see 64-bit one here. And now when I click on next, it will get downloaded. The executable file will start getting downloaded onto my machine. Here it's getting downloaded. All right. I will cancel this because I already downloaded it. And I have it in my downloads folder. Where is it? Here. All right. So I just need, after it is downloaded, okay, after it is downloaded and once you have the executable file on your in your downloads folder, you just have to double click on it to run the installation wizard. So language, we will keep it as English. Click on next. Now there is a prompt that tells me that this application will make changes to your machine. Do you want to accept? You just click on yes there. Okay, allow it to make the changes if required. So here, next, you need to accept the terms and conditions. Click on next. This is the place where all the necessary files will be installed. Generally C program files. We need not change that. Click on next. And now when I click on the install button, it will get installed. Here, automatically, it will create a desktop shortcut. So in case you uncheck this, desktop shortcut will not be created. And every time you have to go through the search button to search for the tool and then install it. So it's better that you keep it selected and click on install. Now it's installing. It's going to install Power BI. Okay, so let me see if there are any questions from you all meanwhile. Okay, so first question is, advanced DAX, to some extent, I will try to cover. Yeah, Sagar, we'll see to whatever extent possible, we will cover it. Difference between Tableau and Power BI. Actually, we have a video on our YouTube channel, Sheikh Jahir. We have a small 2-minute video on our YouTube channel where we have clearly explained the differences between Tableau and Power BI. Power BI Cloud is paid one, yes. For students, what do you use? If you're a student, then you can just go with Power BI Desktop. And Power BI Cloud, you can get it for free for 60 days. After which, it will be converted into a paid license. You have to purchase it. And in case you don't, then they will disable your login and you will have to continue using Power BI Desktop only. Okay, Nilesh? So with your student ID, you can use it for 60 days for free. I used both visualization tool, Tableau and Power BI. My question is, which tool is we should focus as a fresher? Nilesh, it would depend on where you live, because again, geographically also these tools are used extensively in some places. Like if you take Canada, Power BI openings are there extensively. If you take US, I think Tableau and Power BI are almost the same. Good, they are nearly having the same kind of competition in the market. So India also, you have good opportunities for both Tableau as well as Power BI. Okay, if you learn one of the tools, the other tool will become very easy for you to learn. And you're saying that you're familiar with both, I think it should be good. No, this is, okay, Yashwant, we are not providing any certificate for this course. Okay, it's just a free course that you can access from YouTube, that's it. Is Power BI enough for data analysis? It is enough, Aman. Power BI is enough for data analysis. You don't need Tableau. If your company is using Power BI for their reporting requirements, you need to learn Power BI. If your company or organization is using Tableau for their data visualization requirements, then you have to use Tableau. You need to know Tableau. But if you know one of the tools, learning the other will become very easy. And if you're a fresher who's looking for job opportunities, better to learn both. Then you can apply in both companies. Whichever companies are using whatever tool, you can apply everywhere. The opportunities will increase when you learn both Power BI and Tableau. Because the market is split between these two tools. Half the companies are using Power BI, the other half are using Tableau. You're getting my point, I hope. So it is better to learn both. PDF, yeah, the presentations, if you want, we will share it, definitely. It has slowed down my PCS a lot since I installed it. Okay, maybe the space in your PC was already less. So you may have to check and uninstall any other unnecessary things that might be there, any tool that you're not using. Okay, in 2023, Tableau and Power BI, which one is better? Both are good again. So I will say both are good. How do we share our Power BI project on LinkedIn? Through Power BI service? Doesn't open after uploading it. Okay, we'll see that. This Sangeeta, we are focusing only on desktop as a part of this course. But if time permits, I will show you. Sai Sandeep, you can apply for role as a Power BI data analyst. Know Python and SQL perfectly. Can I learn Power BI? Yeah, you need not know Python or SQL to learn Power BI. You can learn it as an independent tool. You can learn it. See, Sai Sharan, it is a 10 hours program. I'm trying to make it as comprehensive as possible. Beyond that, you have to explore a lot. And again, this is focused only on desktop. We are not covering Power BI service or Power BI mobile. Those features are not going to be covered as a part of this free program. Okay, we're focusing only on desktop here. Nilesh, about the certifications of Power BI, we will look at it towards on the last day of the training. Okay, last day of the training. All right. So I hope I have answered all the questions so far. Let's come back here now. Okay, I'm going to put my phone aside for a moment and I'll focus here. So you can see that the installation is complete. And look at this checkbox now. Launch Microsoft Power BI Desktop, which means when I click on the Finish button, it is going to launch the tool. It is going to launch the tool, meaning what? Launch means what? It is simply going to open the tool. All right, once I click on Finish, it's going to open the tool. Even if you uncheck this, there is no problem because anyway, the desktop shortcut would have been created. I'll show it to you. So by doing a double click over there, look at this Power BI Desktop, the shortcut is created. So just by doing a double click on this, you can now open the tool. And the moment you open the tool, this is what you are presented with. So this thing comes up. Okay. Now you need to have an account. You need to buy the license or whatever. Only if you are going to use Power BI service, that is cloud, in order to collaborate and share your work. For just using Power BI Desktop, it is not necessary to buy any license. Not required. Okay, so I'm just going to close this window. I don't have to do anything here. I'll just close this window. And this is what the interface of Power BI Desktop looks like. Okay, here on the right side, there are three views actually. Sorry, on the left side, if you see, there are three views. Okay, we have a report view, basically the one that I am on right now, where we can create the charts. Then we have data view. Here we get a preview of the data. Once we get connected to any data source, we can see the data here in the data view. Then we have the model view. So when you go here, you can create relationships between tables. You can create data models. We will learn about this in detail. Okay. Then I'll go back to report view. So just like in any other tool, we have the menu bar on the top. File, home, insert, modeling, view, optimize, help. Okay. And depending on the option that you choose over here, like in case of Microsoft Excel, depending on the option you choose on the menu, options on the ribbon will change. This is called as the ribbon. Okay. So depending on what you use, okay, depending on what option you select on the menu, home or insert or modeling, accordingly the options on the ribbon will get updated. Relevant options will come basically. And on the right side, you can see something called as visualizations. Let me expand everything. You can see these two arrows, right? By clicking here, you can collapse that particular pane. Filters pane, visualization pane, and we have the data pane. So when you click on these arrows, you can collapse. Look at the instruction. Expand or collapse the filter pane while editing. I'll collapse this. I don't need this right now. Data pane. I'm not connected to any data. It's telling me that you haven't loaded any data yet. So I'm going to collapse this also. This is visualization pane, which also you can collapse if you want. Okay. So you can expand them and collapse them by simply clicking on these arrow marks. So these are all different types of graphs that you can create in Power BI. Apart from the graphs that you're seeing here, there are many other graphs that you can create using the Get More Visuals option. Okay, so this is the interface. So we have filters pane, we have visualizations pane, and we have data pane. This is the report view, which I am on currently. we have data view, and we have model view. This is called a page. This is the first page, page 1. If I want another page to create another dashboard, I just click on the plus sign, which takes me to the next page. All right. Then, see, in these tools that are used for data visualization, we need data. Only when you have data, you can transform it into a graphical format. So the first and the foremost thing that one needs to do here is to connect to the data. Okay, so directly over here, you can see the most frequently used data sources are over here, Excel or SQL Server, or you just paste data into a blank table. Try a sample data set which is inbuilt here, or you can get data from another source. Now, to be able to connect to the data, we can also go to Get Data option in the home ribbon. So when I click on this lower section here, it shows me the common databases like Excel, CSV, SQL Server, okay? And by using the more option, we can see what other data sources are available. All right. Now, instead of clicking over here, let me close this. Instead of clicking on this lower section, on this arrow mark, if I directly click on this container, this database symbol, which is also called as a container or a barrel, and I click there, it will open that window from where I can choose a database, a data source, and connect to it. So we can connect to files, we can connect to databases, all of these. The list is pretty extensive. You can connect to something called as Microsoft Fabric, like databases which are designed by Microsoft, Azure platform, other online services, many things are there. So let's just try file. Let's say I need to connect to a file, a simple Excel file. So I'll choose file and choose the file type, which is Excel. The moment I click on Excel, it will open a window where I have to browse and select the file. Excel, connect. You see the window? So now I need to go to the location where my files are present. So I'll just go here, Power BI, data sets, and I would like to connect to Sample Superstore. Okay, Superstore is basically a retail business where we have some data of some daily transactions happening. So I'll just select it and I'll open it. These files will be shared with you all. Okay, don't worry, we will share the files with you all. So once I open, please wait while we establish connection to Sample Superstore is the message I'm getting, because it's trying to connect. Now I'm here on the navigator window. Now this particular file Superstore that I'm connected to, it has data present in multiple sheets. It has data in something called as orders worksheet, people worksheet, and returns. So when you click and select any sheet, you can see a preview of the data over here. You can see a preview of the data here. Any sheet that you select, suppose I select people, it will give me the preview of data present in people sheet. And if I select returns, it gives me a preview of the data in the returns sheet. Now let's say I need data from all the three sheets. I need data from orders and from people and returns also. So I selected all the three. Though it's showing me preview of what I have selected, all the three are selected. Okay. Now we can directly load this data into Power BI desktop, or we could transform the data. So as I told you in the beginning, Power BI desktop is to visualize and analyze the data. That is done on the desktop too, but it can also transform the data. So to transform the data, to do some sort of data cleaning steps, we use Power Query Editor. Okay. For transforming, you have a separate tool, which is Query Editor. For reporting, you have a tool which is already here. And for modeling, you have to go to this icon. All right. For now, I selected all the three tables that I need, and I would like to transform the data, because if you notice, there is a little problem with the way that it has interpreted the data present in the returns table. It is not taking the column headers correctly. So there is a little problem in the way the data is being interpreted right now, and I would like to correct it. So I'm going to click on transform data. This opens the Power Query editor. Look at this. Okay, it opened the Power Query editor. On the left side of the Power Query editor, you can see something called as queries. Queries is nothing but tables. Tables or worksheets. So we have orders table, we have people table, and we have returns table. So these are nothing but tables. Queries are nothing but tables. Now queries come on the left side. Query settings comes on the right side. Okay, this interface is a little funny, I feel. So queries, which is nothing but tables. Okay, tables, they come on the left side. The query settings, to check the properties of the members in the table and all that, they come on the right side. And everything that you do in the Power Query editor in order to clean your data, to transform your data, each and every step that you perform is recorded over here. You can find it under applied steps. Any step at any point of time can be edited by clicking on this icon, like a gear, right? Or like settings icon, these icons. Okay. Any step that you would like to cancel, you can simply delete the step by clicking on the cross mark. Anyway, we will talk in detail about transformation in tomorrow's session. Over here, the name of the table is returns. Okay. So if I would like to change the name of the table, I could do it here. I say this is basically orders return. And when I change the name over here, you can see it get reflected on the left side under the list of queries also. Both sides. Okay. Now, if I edit it over here, now this is people. When I select people, you can see data from people. If I would like to change the name of the table, I can do it by doing a double click here as well. So this is managers, actually, names of the regional managers. So let's say people _ managers. Now this name, whatever new name I have given, will get reflected under query settings also. Now let's say somehow by mistake you closed query settings. By mistake you closed query settings. Now how do I bring it back? I'll have to go to the view option on the menu, and here on this ribbon corresponding to view, we have query settings. So when I click on it, it will come back. Only with query settings, we might run into a scenario where we may by mistake close it. Here you can't close it, you just minimize it. You collapse it and then you expand it. This is the navigator pane, which can be collapsed, which can be expanded, where we can see the list of queries, which is nothing but tables. All right, now when I look at, I'll go back to home. And on the home ribbon of the query editor, you can see there are so many options, right? We can remove columns which are not required. We can remove rows which are not required. We can sort our data in a particular sequence, ascending, descending. We can split column. We can group by lot of things. We can change the data type of the fields. All right. Here, what I need to do is use the first row as headers, because I can clearly see that it couldn't read the header properly. Person is the name of this column and region is the name of this column. So I'll just promote this particular row to a header by clicking here. Use first row as headers. Now look at this formula bar, this one, right? Whatever you do, right? Whatever you do, it will show you the steps here. I promoted the headers, I sorted the rows, right? It's showing me the steps over here. And this is called M language. The syntax and the code that you're seeing in the formula bar, this is called M language. M language is a language that is developed by Microsoft people. to basically, it is the language that governs everything that you do, and it tracks everything you do. It's converting your actions into code. Okay, M language is special code developed by Microsoft to work with Power BI. We don't have to know M language. It is a language that is used by the people who have developed the tool in order to, transform your actions into whatever you're doing. All right. Now, I don't want to sort my data. I wasn't interested in sorting, so I will just go and click on this cross mark. When I click on this cross mark, I'm basically removing that step. Say it's telling that, are you sure you want to delete the step? It might have an effect on the subsequent steps. Yeah, I want to delete it. I don't see any problem there. I deleted it. There's no problem. Okay. Now I'll go to orders table also and do the same. Here also, I need to promote the first row as headers. So I'll click there and the job is done. And I'm happy with the data type. All the features that you have on the ribbon, whether it is to remove the columns or changing the data type, replacing the values, all these things, you can also do with a right click on the name of the field. Okay, whatever options you're seeing on the ribbon, right? Most of them you can do with the right click. On the context menu also, you get all of these options: replace, transform, remove, pivot, unpivot. All of these options are there. Now I'm happy with the data. Whatever data is there over here, I don't want to do any more transformation. I'm happy with this data. I just need to use this data in Power BI now, in Power BI desktop. So I have to click on close and apply. So once I click on close and apply, you'll notice how the query editor got closed and the data is now getting loaded into Power BI desktop. It's automatically creating the model. It's automatically identifying the commonalities. What are the common things, detecting the relationships, everything is done automatically. And now here, you see data. Earlier data was empty, right? It was telling you are not connected to any data. But now I can see orders, and when I expand it, it shows me all the fields in the orders table. I can see orders returned, and I can see the fields from there. Only 2 fields are there. And when I expand people, you can see the fields from people also. Now you can notice that some of the fields are just there normally, and some of the fields have this sigma icon against them. These are the numericals, the measures, which we might want to aggregate, on which we might want to perform some sort of mathematical operations. Okay, these are fields which are always presented in an aggregated format, and this sigma is an indication of aggregation. All right. Now, we collapse all of them again, close all of them. Here, if I go to data view, it's going to give me a preview of the data. So this is the preview of the data from orders, preview of the data from returns, preview of the data from people. If I go to model, you will notice how the data model is automatically built. Collapse this. You can see how between orders and people, there is a relationship already built. It is indicated with this line. This is the one side of the relationship. The star indicates the many side. Now we will talk about one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-one, many-to-many, all the relationships, and we'll also talk about the direction of filtering. So here, this is a many-to-one relationship. And between people and orders, there is nothing in common. There is no relationship between these two. Between the returns and between orders, there is a relationship which is not automatically detected somehow. So I can make it. Just drag order ID from here on order ID from here. Drag this field and drop it there. Relationship is determined, and you can see many-to-one relationship got formed. Okay. How could it automatically determine this relationship? How was it able to do it based on the fields and all that? So this is because when you go to File, Options and Settings, and then you go to options, you can see that Power BI is configured to so it is English US, of course. Yeah, it is configured to automatically detect the column types and the headers. That is why it's able to detect the column types and the headers. Okay. It is configured to automatically import relationships from data sources on first load. And if relationships are not already defined, like example, if you're bringing data from SQL Server or PostgreSQL Server, relationships would have been defined in the database. So it will detect such relationships. Now, in my case, I brought data from an Excel where I didn't define any relationship between those sheets. It's not possible in Excel. So it will automatically detect new relationships on the data that is loaded. So because these settings are active, it is automatically detecting the relationships wherever it manages to detect. Further, if it has not detected, or whatever relationship automatically enabled is something that you feel is incorrect, you always have the option to go to the model. Okay, go to the model view and then edit the relationship. So let's say this is not what I want. I don't want this relationship. So I can right click on it and I can delete it. Relation between these two will be broken. Yes, I want to break the relationship. I don't want to relate them. Now, what if I might want to bring back the relationship that I deleted? I can do it by dragging the field from here onto the field from here. Region from here should be related to region from here. So when I drop region here, again that relationship will come back. It is configured to automatically detect the relationships. But we also have the option to go and change the relationship or go and delete the relationship, change the cardinality. We have different options. So all of this we will talk about in detail in the upcoming sessions. All right, I'll go back to report view. I showed you how to connect to an Excel. We can also connect to other files. Let's go to more. Now let's say I would like to connect to a CSV file. CSV file. So just select text or CSV option, then I'll have to click on connect and then choose the file. It will list out only the CSV files and click on open. As simple as that. Select the file type, select to connect to it and done. Now here if I see, again there is a little problem with detecting the headers. Somehow it always gives this problem. So I'm going to transform the data. Now what will happen if I try to transform the data? It will load this data into the query editor. Query editor is where we transform the data. I'll click on use first row as headers and then close and apply. Okay, this is something that we do pretty often. Loading the data into the query editor and transforming it. Under transformation, using the first row as the header also might be the most frequent thing that we do. Okay, job done. Now, what if I have to connect to certain files which are present in a folder? I showed you Excel connection. I showed you CSV connection, and you can see that CSV file orders return CSV is here. Now, what if I need to connect to data present in a folder? Let's say a set of files are in a folder. Then I'll have to choose folder and connect. Now it will give me a window to browse for the folder path. So I'm going to browse and I will just go ahead and connect to this folder which has some files. Before I connect, I'll show you the data. These are the three tables, data tables which I have under sample files folder all the three have the same structure, all the three have similar kind of data. Okay, let's say just that my data is split across multiple files. All right, like this. So all the three files in that folder I need, therefore I chose the folder and I'll click on OK. Now I need to combine the data present in all those files in that folder, right? There are some files in that folder. I need to combine them. So it's showing that these are the three files: data table 1, data table 2, and data table 3. It's showing me when I last accessed it, when I last modified it, when it was created and all. I can directly load this, but this is not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in the data that is present in each of these tables and to combine that data. So I'll have to go to combine. Again, combine and load it, or would you like to first check it in the query editor? I would like to check whether everything is correct or not in the query editor. So I'll click on combine and transform data. Now it is going to again open the Power Query editor, where for sample, it will show me only the first file. You see, table 1, sample of the data. And I can notice that it has read the data properly. There's no problem here. So I'll click on OK. So data from these three files, which are present in that folder, will now be combined together. Okay, it got combined. If I go to the data view, yeah, see, it got combined. So I have data table 1, data from table 1. I have data table 2, data from table 2. And I have data table 3, data from table 3. From all the three, I have my data. I can just click on close and apply, and it will close and apply. And it will load the data here. You can see sample files, and you can see the fields in there. There is a date field and there's a profit field. And when I go to data view, when I select sample files over here, and then I go to data view, I can see the data corresponding to that. Let me click here, sample files. Okay. So data table 1, table 2, and table 3. Now let's say somebody has included a new file in that folder. I imported the data. At the time that I imported, there were only 3 files. Now let's say at a later point of time, somebody goes and adds a new data table into it. Data table 4 with new data is included in this folder. Now this folder has 4 files. A new file got included here. So what about my data here, right? That also needs to be updated. So what we'll do is click on transform data. It opens the Power Query editor, under which it will show you list of all the tables that you have. Now under sample files, new data came, and I'm supposed to make sure that it reflects here. So I open the file in Power Query editor and I'll just click on refresh. Refresh. So what will happen once I refresh it? You can notice how data from data table 4 also got included. It is that easy. So if you feel if you're working with a folder with multiple files in it, and if there is a chance that somebody would keep adding files on a daily basis, so every time you open the report, first you transform it and refresh it. Transform it. Once you transform it, it will take you into the Power Query editor, isn't it? Over there, you select the folder and you refresh. Once you refresh, the latest data will get reflected. Now I can again click on close and apply. And let me take you to the data view. So look here. Close and apply. It got refreshed. Okay, I'll check that. Okay. So transform data, sample files, and yeah, new data is there. Okay, it will get reflected once we create some charts. So this is how automatically refresh also would happen. All right. I couldn't cover everything that I planned for today, but I will tell you what we have covered. So we discussed what is Power BI. We discussed about various products that are there in the Power BI product suite, like we have desktop, we have pro, and there is premium. Installation of Power BI, I hope is clear. All of you should be able to install it. And we looked at the user interface, discussed some very basic things about the user interface of Power BI desktop. What are those basic things? That you have the report view, data view, and model view. And on the right side, you have filters, visualizations, and you have data. You can collapse and expand these as necessary. Depending on the menu option that is selected, the options on the ribbon will get updated accordingly. Then we spoke briefly about Power Query Editor, whose primary purpose is to transform the data. And every step that you do with respect to transformation of the data is recorded under query settings. And every step has some code. Internally, some code is generated to perform that, which is written in M language, and the code can be seen up in the formula bar. But we need not know this code. It's not necessary. This is automatically generated. This is called M language. Okay, that's it. This is what we have discussed today. Tomorrow, I will show you connecting to a few more sources. Like we will see how to connect to Access, how to connect to PostgreSQL Server, and if possible, MySQL Server. Once we cover connecting to some common data sources, then we will focus on transforming the data. All right. Thank you all so much. I request all of you to kindly subscribe to the channel. If you have not already subscribed, it would be of great help to us if you subscribe. And if you found this session informative, please do hit the like button and give us the encouragement to to conduct many more such sessions for all of you in the future. So that's it from my side for today. Let me check your questions. Yeah, Power Query here is similar to Tableau Prep Builder on Tableau for cleaning and transforming the data, correct? Supposing we imported the wrong data, how do we delete it? You can just right click on it and delete it. Okay, I will show you how to delete it tomorrow. Okay, just right click and delete it. Can we set automatic daily refresh? If you have Power BI Pro, Naveen, at desktop level, we don't have that option. If you have Power BI Pro license, you can set up auto refresh, possibly. Do we have to make a duplicate data on the original data before we start visualization? No, not required. Because whatever changes you're making to the data, whatever transformation you're doing to the data here in Power BI desktop, it is only local to this one. Okay, it's not going to impact your original database. So you don't have to create a duplicate, not required. How to import multiple folders at the same time? We can import multiple files in a folder, but I don't think we can import multiple folders altogether, but I'll check on that, Devendra. So the links to our LinkedIn and LinkedIn platform is also shared. I request you all to kindly join us on LinkedIn and please do subscribe to the channel as well. And yeah, thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow for the next session. How to do full screen view. You don't have full screen view. This is the view. This is the report view. This is full screen. All right. Thank you all. We'll end the meeting here. Thank you so much. Please do subscribe. Bye-bye.